Hello and welcome to episode 24 of the Tweedle Eat, Tweedle Run podcast, where Steph and I document our adventures our run Disney adventures at both Disney World and Disneyland parks. I'm Court and this is Steph. And Steph, this is why I don't wing it and why I need my script. To you.
Well, fine. I will wing it. Hello, and as always, you can reach out to us on Instagram at tweedle or email us at tweedleeattweedlerun@gmail.com. You can listen to us on Spotify and Amazon Music or see our smiling faces on YouTube, where you can hit that like and subscribe button. On today's episode, we're going to finally wrap up the last little bit of our marathon weekend and talk about our trip that is now less than a week and a half away, which is crazy.
Very, very soon. Yes. So we'll wrap up. The one thing big thing we didn't talk about was a splurge that Steph and I decided that at least Steph was entitled to after running a Dopey, and that was going to the Grand Floridian Spa, which was a
Yes,
very enjoyable and fancy experience.
it was very expansive. It was very much Disney money fancy. Like, I would say on a regular basis, probably not a thing I would do, but after running a Dopey, it is probably the reason why I could walk as well as I could the rest of the day and
Yes.
on Monday, because it was definitely very fun after running the race, playing Let's Guess Who Ran Today based on how everyone was moving through the parks. And I feel like I probably hit it well, minus my
Yes.
marathon hat.
Yes, yes. So we had decided because Steph was running all the races, hey, why not try this? And so the Grand Floridian has full spa services, manicures, pedicures, and they also have massage. And one of them is called Tired Feet Rejuvenation. And I said, yes, Steph, that seems like something that you would like. And so I actually, while Steph was doing her marathon this morning, because I'm training for the Princess weekend, I went and did a 12K run just up and down, back and forth in front of the three all-star resorts. I actually ran up to a point where then the marathon, I think I ran up to kind of the Blizzard Beach parking lot and had to turn around because then I had hit where the marathon route was. So, but I actually did see a couple people running and I saw the Frozone character stop where there was no one. So I think that was probably towards it was not far into the race, at least at that point where all the runners were, because there weren't very many there yet. But so I was like, well, I feel like I somewhat earned a
You
massage
worked your
as
way
well.
forward. Well, and if you factor in, I think like the intention of the actual massage are for people who spend all day walking through the parks. Like if you actually
Which,
add
yeah,
up all the steps we do, you deserved it from that perspective for
of
sure.
course. Yeah. So we before our spa, we actually went and had a delicious lunch at Kona Cafe. It was so good.
It was
Like,
so good. And I
yeah.
ate everything,
I know
like
Steph's like,
literally.
okay, so we should order this and this and this and this. I'm like, okay, Steph, like I'm not as hungry as you are, Steph. She's like, don't worry, I'll eat all this stuff on my own. I'm like, okay. And you did. We
And I
we
did. I ate everything.
we finished everything. Yeah, we had the pot stickers. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, those are so good. I
Those were
still think
phenomenal.
about them. Like I've had some pretty good dumplings at some other places since then, but they do not hold a candle to those pot stickers.
They were so good. I would go there just for the pot stickers. That was so delicious.
I
And
agree.
another reason why we decided to do Kona was so that we were there around lunchtime because we wanted to go to the Trader Sam's Tiki Bar, and they open up the wait list so it doesn't open till 3, but you can go early. And I had sort of read around 1:30 they'll open up the list so you can start putting your name down so that you can get your name on the list for when they do open up to call you back. So after our Kona lunch, we actually went at 1:30 and we went and put our name on the list. And I'm trying to remember, I think they told us it would be about a 3-hour return or something like that. I can't
Something
quite
like that.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, well, that sort of is good timing because we had our spas booked. So we had booked our spas for 3 o'clock, or our massages, sorry, for 3 o'clock, and we went over to the spa. They have a whole relaxation room. So,
Hmm.
you go, you get checked in. You had to pick a stone that represented, I don't even remember what they said, but it was like represented like your mood or
Yeah,
something.
it was like pick the one that calls to you.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, okay. So there were like these shiny, basically geode slivers that were like in all different colors. You picked a different one, and then they had like a rock garden at the front, and you added your geode stone to the rock garden. And then it came into play later that when you were in your treatment room, the mood lighting of the room matched whatever stone you chose.
Yeah. And
Spoiler.
what's funny, Steph, is that, which I didn't tell you, but so Steph picked this very pretty purple one.
Yes.
I was going to pick the same one and Steph picked it. I acted cool though, Steph. I wasn't like, I was going to pick that one. So I just picked a different one. I picked a green one, which I mean, whatever. The massage was great. I don't think the color of my stone impacted
No.
anyway. I think the scents that they used might have also been tied to it.
Yeah, because it
I
was
think
because I picked the purple stone, they used lavender scent for a lot of stuff.
right.
So
So mine
yeah.
was more of like eucalyptus type of
Hmm.
smells. So anyways, but then when you go in, there's this relaxation room with these lounge chairs. They have teas and little snackies that you
You
can
can get coffee if
enjoy.
you want it. They
Yeah.
said they would bring it to you, like water and yeah.
And then
So
there's a separate room that has like a hot tub, whirlpool tub, which the jets were aggressive.
well, part of it, I think, is that there wasn't enough water in it. So the jets were like half out of the water, and we turned it on, and then we are like, we can't turn it off, we can't turn it off. And they were loud, like very,
It
very
was like
loud.
spraying like
Yeah,
aggressively at us. I was like, this is not relaxing. And then there was a steam room, which I really enjoy a steam room. So that was nice. And then they had these cold towels that had sort of a eucalyptus oil on them that you could use to towel off, which was really nice. And then they had full shower lockers. You got a plush robe and a pair of slippers to wear around. They had everything too. They had
they did.
disposable combs and
Yeah,
brushes.
they had hair ties, they had bobby pins, they had every potion and lotion you could possibly want to rub on yourself after you have a shower there, like just all there. And you're just like, okay, I'm gonna do all these things. So it was
Yeah,
very
so
nice.
we had known that there was this pool option. You have to wear bathing suits, which I mean was fine. Just brought our bathing suits in our day bag with us. We brought sandals, which it turns out we didn't need to because they
Yeah.
gave us footwear. But so we got there about 30 minutes before our massage started because you were allowed to use the spa services. So we did that for a bit. Then they came and got us. We both had our massages. Steph shockingly did not fall asleep on the table, which I was
No.
betting 100% she was going to fall asleep.
Well, especially because they come in and they like you get cozy under these nice warm blankets, and they give you a face mask, and they put this face mask on you. So really the mood lighting didn't matter because I couldn't see anything after the first like 5 minutes anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, oh, maybe I'll fall asleep, but I did not. Um, I also was given the option at the beginning of my massage if I wanted to upgrade it to a full body custom massage, and I was like, no, legs and feet, really need the legs and feet. So I think I had, and we talked about it afterwards, like I think I had a very different intense leg massage than you did, because when I described some of the techniques you used, you're like, oh no, mine didn't do that at all. So
Yeah,
there was no
we
way I was
definitely
sleeping through that.
well, and I think they do to that extent do customize it to sort of what's going on and where you are tight, right? So
Yeah.
because mine, yeah, I was like, oh, she did this for me, and Steph's like, oh, I didn't have that, and so, but yeah, it was a really enjoyable experience. Basically every other person at the spa had also run a race during the Dopey weekend. It was just all runners who'd clearly
Yep.
booked these massages.
Yeah, the one girl who we saw hobble in after her massage apparently was worse after her massage than before her massage. So I don't even know. I don't know what happened to her in her massage.
Yeah, she said they put some lotion on that was some,
Oh, like the tingly thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
like relaxation. I don't remember what she said it was, but she said, oh, I shouldn't have had that because I think when she was tight, she was able to walk better, but as soon as they loosened everything up, she just felt like jello and
Yeah.
felt like she
She
couldn't
couldn't walk.
move. Yeah,
So
so, but it was 10 out of 10. I loved it. We have also booked it for when we go in April for our springtime surprise. I said to Steph, I said, look, Steph, if I'm running all three races at springtime surprise, I'm gonna get myself a massage.
right.
So,
So
so we
that's
booked it
fine.
again.
Why
I love,
not?
I love going to spas and getting massages. It's such a treat. And so that will be a fun experience to do again. And it'll be sort of a good culmination of the end of this crazy run Disney season that we've been doing. So,
Yeah.
the other thing we did that day, so then after, this was a very relaxing day, which we had planned on purpose because we knew Steph was running the marathon. We'll have just run 4 races. We weren't sure what level of intelligence we were going to be working with, like how random she was going to be at that point. So I was like, let's have like a
Which is
really
true.
chill day. But so then we actually went up to Enchanted Rose, which is the lounge in the Grand Floridian. We thought we'd, grab a drink there, just hang out there. And we put our name on the list. I think they said it was about a 30-minute wait. That lobby is beautiful, though they had a
It
piano
is just to
player.
wander through it. It was so
Yeah.
cool.
I was like, I'd be fine sitting here for 30 minutes waiting for Enchanted Rose. But then pretty much right away, we got the text saying that we could go back to Trader Sam's. So we thought, yeah, let's just go and do that. And, I'm going to put Enchanted Rose probably on the list to do when we go in April, because again, we're going to be at the Grand Floridian for our massages. So we'll plan to do Enchanted Rose then. But Steph does love a tiki bar. If you're a
I
longtime
do.
listener, you know how much she
Where I
likes the
like to
tiki
go.
bars. Creature of habit. So anyways,
It is
we went to
true.
Trader Sam's. So it was about 4:30 when we got called. And so, about 3 hours after we put our name on the list. But again, it didn't open till 3. So, they were just sort of making their way through it. We sat at a table and we had sort of one half of the table and they sat a delightful couple. Jill and Mark from Kentucky joined us and it was lovely chatting with them. I think it was their first time, wasn't
It
it, at
was.
Disney World?
It was their first time to Disney World. They hadn't hit the parks yet. They basically just kind of like did a couple lounges and had some dinners and were kind of taking in like the Disney experience that way first. But no, they were super fun to talk to. What made me giggle a little bit was at the end. They're like, "Thank you for entertaining us
Yeah.
afterwards." We were giving them all of our various Disney tips that we had learned.
Yes.
And I said to Court, like, it was kind of funny that this is how this all happened because our very first time going to Trader Sam's, we got sat with a couple of women who like live in different ends of the country, but get together and run a bunch of these races and get together like with an annual pass and do this. And I'm like, oh, it's come full circle. Like we are
Yep.
now those people telling
We are those
all these
ladies.
things. Yeah. So it was funny.
Yes, it was very nice. And I always love talking to people who, haven't been a bunch because I just feel like there's so much knowledge out there and so many good tips and tricks that can make your experience so much better. Like when I hear about people that go on a trip that I know and didn't ask me like anything, I think what just I would have an hour long, 2 hour, however long you want to talk about Disney. I'd be so happy to chat with them before
Yeah.
they go on their trip just to try and help out like the best I can. So, for anyone listening, if you ever want or ever need advice, Steph and I are always happy to accommodate. But yes, because I think you can have such a better experience with good planning or at least knowing about it. Like we even said to, this Jill, we were impressed that she was at Trader Sam's because it was her first time. And Trader Sam's is not a high radar thing, right? It tends to be more of the people who go all the time who end up at Trader Sam's. And she said, yes, her boss is a hardcore Disney fan and had given her some suggestions, and this was one of them. So I said, well done getting in and trying this experience. But I think they also loved it. They thought it was pretty fantastic.
And
It's
because
a fun.
it's a fun place. Like it's the kind of place like you sit in there and there's nothing like there's something to look at all the time. Like you could probably go there just as a single person by yourself, hang out with the bartenders and just watch the chaos around you.
Oh yeah,
So
you'd have a great time. Yep. So
yeah.
then, and that was pretty much what we did. We ended up going to Epcot because we had gotten a single pass Lightning Lane for Guardians. I think this is the one where we got the worst song. Am I right about that now, Steph?
Yes, now you're right about that.
No, now I'm
Everyone
right.
wants to rule the world. Yeah.
It's just it
It's
just
too
makes it for a
slow.
different experience. It is too slow, but we did get to do one last ride on it before we left for Steph, and then we actually went to Magic Kingdom because I do love the happily ever after fireworks. So we actually went in and we went to the spring roll cart to get spring rolls, and they had literally two left. They only had two. So we got their last two spring rolls. That was at 7:45, 7:30.
Yeah.
So
And we
heads
got
up,
one of each.
if you want spring rolls, don't sleep on it because apparently they run out and then they shut down.
Yeah.
So we got those. We had Peter Pan, or no, we did standby for Peter Pan because it was 7:45 and Happily Ever After started at 8. And I said to Steph, it was a 45 posted. I said, no way. There's no way this is a 45-minute wait because everyone is watching fireworks. This is a really good tip. Riding rides during fireworks, lines are crazy short, even if the posted wait time doesn't say so. We waited 13 minutes for this ride and got to go through the super cute queue. The thing about going to Lightning Lane for Peter Pan is the queue is like you just
Through
go right to
there.
the ride, but
And you
there's
miss all the cool stuff. Like I think I've maybe done the queue once before, and I think we just walked through, so we didn't even like stop at any of the things. And I was like, look at the fun things here. So
yeah, it's really cute. I wouldn't want to stand in it for 45 minutes, mind you,
yeah,
but for 13
it's
minutes,
cute.
it was great. And then we watched Happily Ever After behind the castle, so right around where the carousel
Carousel.
is.
Yeah.
Our plan was to watch the fireworks, and then we had a single pass Lightning Lane for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train for around this time. But I said, well, why don't we watch the fireworks and kind of as soon as it's ending, we'll get in line in the standby line and maybe get to ride it twice. And so we watched them. I actually really loved watching it behind the castle because they're actually all around you because there's some
Hmm.
fireworks that go off right where the castle is, but the other fireworks are actually going off kind of behind the park. So if you stand there, it's like there's just so many things to look at. You're
I was trying to
constantly
take
like on a swivel.
Yeah, like I was trying to take a video of it and I was like, I don't know where to look. I don't know where to like aim my phone to try to get a full feel of it all. But it's cool because you see like the fireworks almost shoot over top of you, kind of like in this cascade, and it's really cool. It's
And
one of those things where if you've never seen Happily Ever After, see it from the front because you want to see all the projections and stuff like that. But if you've seen Happily Ever After, see it from the back and you get to be in the fireworks, which is really cool.
it was really cool. And the other thing I was going to point out is there's so much space. Like I even
Oh
think
yeah.
I said that to Steph. I was like, look at how much space I have. Like there's nobody really around you. You know, the one downfall to watching it in the front is that yes, it does get more crowded and there's more people and you might stake out a spot and then somebody comes in last minute and kind of is taking up your space. So that part was really nice. And then we rode Seven Dwarfs. So at 8:16, it was a 30-minute posted wait. We waited 18 minutes and again got to go through the queue, which has a really fun part
Game.
in like, yeah, a little game that you can play. And, you know, had never really done that because we always go through the lightning lane. And then we were going to go through the lightning lane again, like for our single pass, and the lightning lane was down. Not
It
the
was not working.
ride. The ride was still working, but their system for the lightning lane wasn't working, so that was weird. But anyways, we were like, whatever, at least we rode it one time. And so we stopped at guest services. Oh, we got some more food at Sleepy Hollow. We did not order as
Yes,
much fruit this time.
no, but they gave us more. Like we ordered one fruit each, and we probably got just as much as we did when we ordered four.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, is
So
it the end of the night and they're just trying to get rid of it or something?
yeah,
But yeah, we did Sleepy Hollow again because it was so good the last time we got it. And then we actually went to go and get refunded for our single pass because, we knew we're leaving the park. And we went into guest services right at the exit for Magic Kingdom. And they're like, okay, yeah, no problem. Just scan your magic band and we'll refund you. And I'm not wearing a magic band. And
nope.
I have no idea where I was wearing a long sleeve and a coat. And I'm looking through like the photos from our rides and I'm like, well, I was wearing it on this ride. Like I clearly still had it. And I have no idea where it fell off. Like it clearly just fell off at some point. I have no idea when or where.
No,
Gone.
but
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 I put in a lost and found request and I had absolutely no aspirations that they would find this. I got an email that they found it and they shipped it to me and I have it back already. So I have it for our next trip.
so crazy how it all
I
worked
know.
out because well, you said like how many things that you've reported lost and you've never got it back, and yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've
We've lost
reported one
a
thing's lost.
we've lost a magic band in the past and get it back. I've lost a necklace, like just little trinkety things, nothing that was very expensive. And I always wondered if it was just it's not very expensive, so maybe they just don't make the effort to return it to you. Whereas if it was something important like a wallet or a passport or a phone or something, like maybe then you
Yeah.
would get it back. But no, they shipped it back to me. So hooray.
So for the record, on this trip, you lost two things.
I did, and I got them both back. And when we
Lucky.
did and when we did our Disneyland trip, I lost my water bottle. That I didn't get back. They never returned
No.
that to me. Yeah. So maybe I shouldn't be so hard on my children when they lose things, because clearly
No.
they're just their
But
mother's children.
you just come by it honestly.
Yes.
All
So
right. So
it was all in all a good trip. So now we have our next race coming up. As Steph said, we leave in about a week and a half. Steph, do you want to hear the very, very sad news?
what's the very, very sad news?
Our treadmill died.
Oh
Yep, yesterday. So Dan did a run. I did my 8K run, and then Deacon was just Dan told them if they wanted to walk on the treadmill, they could watch a show. So he walked on the treadmill, was watching a show, and then it just stopped working. And Dan spent like 45 minutes on it this morning and couldn't get it working. So he's like, I think it's dead. We need a
no.
new treadmill.
Oh no.
So I will be doing my 22K run outside today.
In the fluffy, fluffy snow.
We got what, like a foot of snow at
Something like
least,
that. Yeah.
maybe a foot
Yeah.
and a half of snow last night. We were out shoveling this morning, and I'm like, this is gonna suck because we shoveled and some people shoveled. There's gonna be a lot of sidewalks that won't be shoveled, and they did plow our street, so I'm hopeful that most of the streets will be plowed, so at least I could run on the road. But it's
Yeah.
plowed, but there's still like it's not bare like road. I'll still be running. Like it'll basically be like I'm running 22K in sand is what it's
Yeah.
gonna be like.
So don't break yourself.
Yeah, I'm not going to break myself. I won't go too fast. It'll probably be a really slow pace, but just to get the kilometers under me. So I
Yeah.
could,
No, that's fair.
Dan did offer I could take his work pass. They have a gym at work. He's like, you could take my pass and go use the treadmill there. I was like, I know, but I failed at trying to do a long run on a treadmill already. So I'm probably better off going outside. And like the weather is actually nice. Like it's pretty warm today and it's not windy. So
No, it's not terrible. No, I did 21 yesterday. I was like, I don't need to do the full Disney like plan of doing 8K yesterday and then 22 today because I'm like, I already did the Dopey. I can get these kilometers in, whatever.
old
So
news.
old
Steps
news.
over it.
Yeah. Well, and I run every day anyway, so it's fine. It's fine.
Yes, I am sticking to the training plan because I have not done it before. And so I'm
Yeah.
trying to put myself in a very well, and yesterday I did the 8K run in the morning and then my son had soccer in the evening and there's a track. So I actually walked the track because I thought, oh, I should like, because then I'm gonna walk through the parks afterwards. So I'll have to practice getting a few more kilometers of walking in addition to the races I'm doing. So I'll be
Ooh,
very prepared.
we'll have honest comparison of step count.
Yes, you're still going to destroy
I
me
know.
because you
Yeah,
have
and I'm
tiny
gonna
little
chase,
legs.
and I'll have little people to chase.
That's true. Yeah, taking them to the bathroom all the time. Whereas my kids, I can be like, yeah, go. I don't have to come with
Yeah, I
you.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, so it will be a little different. But yeah, so talking about our plans, so we are taking the kids with us. We are actually not. Oh, I can't share my screen. You have to let me share my screen, Steph. I'll
Mm.
share our plan for those watching on YouTube. But we're actually not traveling down together because my oldest son has a hockey game. It's his last regular season game on the Thursday night. And so because I'm not doing the 5K race, I don't have to be there by the Thursday to get my race kits. I can pick mine up on the Friday before
You should
my
be able to
10K on
share.
Saturday. Okay. And then whereas Steph is going to go down because she's doing the 5K. So she's actually going to go down earlier with her brother,
Yep.
Justin, and the
Uncle
kids.
Justin. Uncle Justin is coming
Uncle
to help
Justin.
wrangle the children.
Yeah, so you are actually flying in Wednesday night, and then you have
Yeah.
an all-day Thursday. I think you're planning sort of a pool day, Ohana
Yeah.
breakfast, because why, Steph? Why must we do Ohana breakfast?
We must do Ohana breakfast because my children love, love, love Lilo and Stitch. And it's the chance that they will be guaranteed to see them. And breakfast is the one meal all my kids seem to be able to agree on. So if
Yeah,
I'm gonna splurge, we're doing Ohanas.
I
So
like it.
as you can see, My day is not as filled out as everything else because it's how I organize versus how Court organizes. Plus, we don't really have anything planned. I'll probably, the one thing I have to do is I have to pick up my kit. So depending on how things get going in the morning, I'll probably do it after breakfast. Like I'll get my brother to take the kids back to the hotel and I'll go off to the expo and do what I need to do because I can catch a bus from the Polynesian to do that fairly easily. So that will be my plan. I also have a Splitsville reservation for the evening that I kind of just put there as a placeholder for now. I have a feeling we're not going to do it and we'll end up just doing the Morimoto street food because I had a client who raved about how good Morimoto was. Ridiculously expensive, but very good. And they're not even like seafood people or whatever, but they ate everything that was brought to them because it was just so amazing. And I kind of thought that my kids would love something like that, but it was just way like doing Ohana in the morning and then splurging on a ridiculous dinner was like, no, I can't. That'll be too much. So,
Will
yeah.
will you go to Gideon's with your kids while you're at Disney Springs, do you think?
Oh, I guess that, yeah. I could do Gideon's with the kids at Disney Springs. I figured I'd take them to the World of Disney, um,
Lego store?
Lego store, like, oh my goodness, why can't I think of what it's called? Oh, Dole Whip, the Dole Whip, where you can get
Yeah,
the three different kinds.
swirls on the
Yep,
water.
swirls on the water. That one. Yep, to do that with them. So just hang out at Disney Springs.
Yes, Steph is finally traveling with people who can tolerate lactose, so can actually have people share lactose desserts with
No.
her. So she doesn't have to go, well, if I get this, I have to eat the whole thing myself.
And like, which is fine. It's just sometimes they're huge, and I'm like, I can't cope. So,
Yeah. And then so on Friday, we're both planning to go to Epcot. So we gave the kids, I mean, Steph's kids didn't really have much opinion because they haven't been to Walt Disney World. But since my kids have been a few times, I said to them, there was a Canadian resident ticket offer. So you got 4 days for less than the price of 3 days, and it wasn't much more expensive than 2 days. So we thought, let's just do the 4 day ticket, even if we don't do full days every day. It's still like this almost the price of the 2 day ticket. We're not doing park hopper with the kids because I just find you lose a lot of time
in between
dragging kids
parts.
between the parks. And since Steph kids have never been, they'll actually want that, they don't necessarily have just their favorites in a park that they're trying to see just a few things. So we're doing just Epcot on the first day. Steph will do her 5K race. And then this day we'll see kind of how we align because I'm flying in with my kids. I have to go to the expo. I'm debating like, I've gone back and forth stuff. So part of me was like, oh, I'll go to the hotel with the kids, drop our bags there, leave the kids there. I'll go to the expo, come back and get them, and then we'll go to Epcot. I've also had thoughts of dropping the bags, coming to Epcot, meeting you, letting the kids stay with you at Epcot, and I go to the expo.
It's not
But
a terrible
now,
idea.
but now I think what makes the most sense is because we're just going to have carry on. I don't think we're going to have a lot of stuff. I think what I'm going to do is Uber right to the expo with my kids, get my race bib, and then take the bus from the expo to Caribbean Beach and drop our bags and then take this guy. I think that's going to be the most direct way to do it. Because even if I
Hmm.
just literally leave the kids like sitting, they have all those like snack carts and stuff, whatever. I can get them a churro or a pretzel or something, park them on a bench, and I can go and get my race bib because it'll be quick because I'm not going the first day of the expo.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And now the other fun news that we get to share, we got you a challenge bib. So now because of that, you only have to go to one booth.
yay, I don't have to pick up two. I just get to go to one. Thank you, Steph. And luckily, because when Steph signed me up, she basically had to like pay for the race, but I had already paid for both races. So I was like, oh, this is a really expensive extra medal. But then when I emailed Run Disney and they were able to refund my
Okay.
10K race so that I
And
didn't.
they actually, because I swapped it out for your half, it was prorated because it covered a portion of the cost of the half.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
how
yeah.
is
Yeah.
how it
So you
works.
only
So
paid like the difference between the half and
yeah,
the challenge, and then and then they refunded the 10K. So that was
yeah.
lovely. But yes, so I'll show up at Epcot with the kids at some point. We don't have a lot of big plans this day. Apparently, I have planned to get the Figments brush with the Masters twice. I don't know, I have this twice on my schedule, but That's the scavenger hunt that you can do with Figment. So I figure we'll pick that up. The kids like to do it. There's the pass holder magnet that Steph and I can pick up at Creation Shop. It's like the first time we're going to be at the parks when they have a pass holder magnet. So like we have to
Yeah.
get it. It'll be the only one that we've
Only
ever
pass holder
gotten.
magnet we get.
This time I'm actually planning to get a popcorn bucket for Cooper because he eats popcorn like every single day at home. So I thought it would actually be a good investment. And with having five of them, like five kids with us, having a one bucket of popcorn with us kind of at all times, I feel like will be a good easy snack for anyone who's getting a little hangry before we get to whatever we're eating. We're going to do Festival of the Arts food booths. I think I might do a grocery order this night, Steph. I don't know if you're going to do a grocery order for when you arrive, but I think I'm going to do like breakfasty type items to have in the room with the kids in the morning. So, and then we're both just staying at Caribbean Beach. We are getting lightning or multi-pass and single pass for all the days. So we'll have to figure out what we want to book for that. But then the 10K race day, we have Hollywood Studios planned. Steph and I will do our race, head back, pick up the kids. I was thinking depending on timing, because the early entry is 8:30 to 9 this day. So, we're doing the 10K. We should be able to get back in decent time. If we can, we'll see about rope dropping. I have Slinky Dog Dash / Toy Story Mania. I figured the ones who want to do Slinky Dog Dash twice could rope drop it, and then we could get a single
Mm-hmm.
or a multi-pass for it. And everyone else can go to Toy Story Mania with Sawyer, who's too little anyways. And then I thought everyone
Sawyer
else
will
could just
love it.
join us on Toy Story Mania. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, after we were able to ride it, whatever that was, 5 times
Five
before the
times.
line even, and we probably could have ridden it like 6 or 7 times, really, like without too much of a wait.
Well, and Sawyer's obsessed with shooting things right now. So Toy Story Mania will be right down his alley.
Yeah. And then we're going to do multi-pass. So then we'll pretty much just do our rides based on that. Figuring out with Sawyer doing the rider swap for the ones that he can't ride. The nice thing about Hollywood Studios is there's a fair amount of shows. Like, so I was thinking, when we go do Rise the Resistance, because Cooper doesn't like that ride, he won't want to do it. I was thinking, like he could take Sawyer to like Muppet 3D because it's
Mm-hmm.
still open. They'd have a great time. It's like literally just around the corner from Rise. So just figuring out what other things, the non-riders can do so that they're not just sitting there being bored. Woody's Roundup for lunch. I'm so excited for this stuff.
Which we've heard such good things about.
And I think they figured out their service issues. Initially, when
Yeah.
people were going, it was taking a really long time. It sounds like that's fixed a bit. And then Savvy's workshop for Steph's two children.
My two children, my biggest child and then my brother child, uh, they get to cash in on their Christmas presents of Savvy's workshop, but it's kind of cool because you can bring a guest in. So my brother will bring Sawyer in as his guest because the little mini man will be very disappointed that he doesn't get to make his own lightsaber. But I think if we convince him that he gets to help Uncle Justin make his lightsaber, that'll be okay. So then I'll go in and help Elliot do his, and Saloni Balone will get to hang out with Mama Court and the boys. We'll see how that
Yeah.
goes. I'm sure she'll be fine by this point, but who knows?
Yeah, see if that goes okay. And then Oga's Cantina for the whole crew. Mostly because so Justin's never been and he's a huge Star Wars fan. And so
Yeah.
wanting to give him the full Star Wars experience. I had planned for us to do Docking Bay 7 for dinner after our Oga's Cantina. So all the things Star Wars, so Justin gets the full experience.
And I mean, it was Elliot's favorite part of Disneyland as well. So he's pretty pumped for all things Star Wars.
Good. And then, like I said, so I had asked my kids like what parks they wanted to do. We had the four days to pick from, and they actually both separately. Well, I asked them separately. Both said they wanted to do Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and 2 days at Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
No Animal Kingdom. They didn't want to do it.
So in the world of my children, Animal Kingdom just doesn't exist because I decided just not to bring it up because really the only rides that are worthwhile at Animal Kingdom, half of them, well, two-thirds can't really ride.
Yeah.
And they don't know Avatar enough. Like Ellie doesn't know Avatar enough to make Pandora really something worthwhile for him to see. Versus I think if we when we go to Magic Kingdom, all three of them will be able to do so many things. So
Yeah, I do have a slight asterisk here of changing the second Magic Kingdom day to Epcot, but I think we're getting overruled on that. But yeah, so I mean, the nice thing is it gives us a lot of time in terms of there's a lot more attractions at Magic Kingdom. There'll be ones that they love that we'll be able to do again with them the next day. We don't necessarily have to try and do everything in one day, so we can kind of, hey, we did these ones, and then the next day we can do some of their favorites and then add in the ones that we missed. So that will make it easier. We have lunch reservations. I like taking a lunch break with the kids. I just find it's a good, everyone gets to sit down, we get food in them. It like kind of is a bit of a relaxing time. Liberty Tree Tavern, I'm also really excited about. It always seems like too much food, but after doing the 10K and a half, I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'll be hungry this day and want a big meal.
All right, we'll
And
also have Uncle Justin who will help it be a garbage disposal, so
yeah, and then
it'll be fine.
we're gonna watch Happily Ever After this night. And to Steph's point, we will likely watch it. I'm thinking kind of at the end of Main Street might be a good place to watch it with the kiddos. Park ourselves kind of at the end so they can see the projections on the Main Street as well as the projections on the castle because they've never seen that before. Will be a really nice way to end the evening. And then we're gonna sleep in. We'll drop our bags off at Bell Services. If the kids want to like do the pool in the morning, like we can be really flexible this day on kind of what we want to do. We have a Skipper Canteen lunch at noon. We will have multi-pass and single passes for this day. And then our flight isn't until 10 o'clock at night. So we have a lot of time. So we'll get back to Caribbean Beach. Again, I put like, do we want to go in the pool? I thought we could probably eat at Banana Cabana. It's their pool bar, but the food's supposed to be really good. And then grab our bags and then
Head on
that's
out.
it.
We might actually have to take off before you guys do because I booked us a shuttle service so I don't have to deal with
Mm.
car
Car seats.
seats.
Yeah.
So I think the pickup is early, which kind of sucks. That's the only thing when
Yeah.
you book shuttle services, but
Yeah. Well, so we'll
it's
figure
fine.
it out. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so then it might make sense to go back a little bit earlier and grab some food and then my boys can chill in the pool or there's like an arcade there. I'm sure they would love to play in or whatever. And yeah, we'll
All
see how
right.
it goes, Steph. It'll be
We
our first
will.
time doing our races and then having to wrangle our medium-sized and little people because I don't know if I can call Cooper a little person anymore since he's taller than
No,
you.
I know. They're still our little people, our persons. Anyways,
My
yeah,
little
we'll
big
see.
people.
Little big people.
Yeah,
Well,
so I'm excited and hopefully don't injure myself on my snowy run today. So wish me
yeah,
luck,
man.
Steph.
Don't hurt yourself today.
I
Not
won't.
worth
I
it.
I won't hurt myself. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm just gonna bundle up enough so that it's not too cold, but I'll get it done. I have to double check my route because my one I did last time outside was a 19K, so I have to add 3K to it. So I have to figure out what makes sense, trying to stick to routes where I think they'll be plowed.
In the grand
That's
scheme of things, you've already done 19. You could do 21.
I know. And
Yeah,
I think I did 6.5 or 7. I think I did a 4 mile the day before, which is about 6.5K. And then and I was fine. Like I wasn't sore at all.
exactly.
I
So
wasn't exhausted. Yeah. So I know, but it's on the plan, Steph. I like to
fine.
follow a
I know you
plan.
like the plans. So, all right.
Anyway, so I guess that'll wrap it up for this episode. So until next time, Steph.
Tweedle out.